As promised, today I'm bringing you the full story of Justin Trudeau's sauna installation at Harrington Lake. And the story isn't quite what was reported by the CBC. Remember the story of Justin Trudeau's sauna installation at Harrington Lake? It was part of a broader story about some of the more expensive upgrades being made at the Prime Ministerial retreat that the CBC reported on last summer. Now, according to the CBC, Justin Trudeau ultimately paid for the lavish sauna himself, but it cost $4,368 to wire the thing. According to access to information documents obtained by the CBC, the sauna installation was supposed to cost $65,000. That's because Justin Trudeau wanted to rush to have his sauna installed before his winter vacation, and then he wanted to move it to another location after the winter. So to wire everything twice, build a deck twice, and a landscape twice, it would cost the taxpayer $65,000. That's not what happened in the end, thank God. Here's what CBC reports to have happened. From the CBC, the idea considered for a while to move the sauna to a constructed deck was discarded. It remains in the original location, said NCC spokesperson Jean Wolfe. The Prime Minister's office, the PMO, agreed with the less costly approach. So the CBC, the PMO, and the National Capital Commission, the NCC, that's the agency in charge of Harrington Lake and official prime ministerial properties, wants Canadians to believe that cost was the reason they decided not to move the sauna once it was in location. We're supposed to believe that Justin Trudeau suddenly became a fiscal conservative when it comes to his lavish sauna. Well, these access to information documents I have today prove otherwise, and these are probably the very same documents CBC had before they tried to pass off that excuse to you as reality. Now, this is unrelated to the cost of the sauna, but it shows how dumb Trudeau is, and I just want to show it to you before we get into the meat of these access to information documents. Here on page 57, this is from a property manager from the NCC who sent an email to his colleagues regarding the proper use of the sauna. Note, this is a dry sauna only, no plumbing involved. Users must refrain from pouring a lot of water on the heating element, just 1 ladle per sitting. There's a name redacted here, but they have removed the water barrels and ladles because of overwatering by users, which breaks down the heating coils very rapidly. This is the very definition of a sauna versus a steam room. Very important distinction to be made from the onset and agreed to by end users during the initial discussions. The users they're referring to here are, of course, the Trudeaus. They own the sauna. They had it installed. It's their sauna, but they don't know how to use it. They think it's a wet sauna, and they're busy in their own sauna dumping water all over the place, and they've had to be told by the groundskeepers to stop it. Again, despite having been told how to use the sauna in these quote-unquote initial discussions. So dumb. Just so dumb. Anyway, let's get to the meat of the sauna plan, shall we? You can see here on page 90, the final quote to wire the sauna twice was going to cost $41,568. And remember, the sauna needed to be wired twice because it was going to go in one place for the winter because Trudeau wanted his sauna and he wanted it now, and then it would be moved to a more fixed location in the spring, just a few short months later. And then if we scroll down here to page 95, we can see that the construction for a platform, so that would be the deck to house the sauna, in its new location would cost $22,818. So the final estimated cost for Trudeau to get his sauna in a hurry so that he could use it for a few short months and then relocate it to somewhere else was going to cost the Canadian taxpayers $64,386. So that's in line with the CBC story so far. And if you don't believe me that this was a rush put on the bureaucrats by the Trudeau family, on page 87 you can see time is of the essence, is a directive to get that sauna built now. There are a few other things that stand out, though, in this access to information package. On page 107, you can see the bureaucrats are concerned that cedar trees are, quote unquote, obstructing the view of and from the sauna. So the trees will have to be removed. What a great environmentalist Trudeau is. On page 114, the bureaucrats are seeming to have a change of heart, suggesting maybe the trees don't have to be cut down, although the bureaucrats do suggest the construction workers may have to destroy the garden when they're trying to move the sauna to its second location. Now, I believe that's the expensive new organic garden I told you about the other day. But here's where we get to the real reason why the sauna was never moved to that second final resting place, and we need to thank our lucky stars for this. It's here on page 133. Look at this. The attached sketch shows the 15-meter setback from the 2-year flood elevation in relation to the proposed fabrication structure and deck expansion. In the proposed expansion, it's generally within the 15-meter, and the structure appears to be or beyond the 15-meter line. The National Capital Commission survey has placed the 15-meter setback line accurately. So there's your real reason why Trudeau didn't move his sauna. It would have been in the floodplain of the waterfront. That's why he didn't move the sauna from where it was initially installed in December of 2016 to where he imagined it in its new location on a brand new deck in the spring of 2016. Not once in any of the 174 pages here did a single bureaucrat, either with the National Capital Commission or the Prime Minister's office, express any sort of concern over the exorbitant cost to taxpayers of relocating a sauna, trenching and wiring twice, expanding a deck, destroying a garden, and reclaiming the initial location, and cutting down all those trees. Money was no object to these people, and based on CBC's earlier reporting, they likely had their hands on these very documents, but they didn't mention that 15-meter high watermark, not even once. Instead, they went with the bureaucratic excuse that the Prime Minister went with the cheaper option. CBC could have done what I'm doing here today. They could have published the documents for you to look at for yourself, but then the truth would be out. You know what they say, you just can't trust the mainstream media. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. What you just saw there is the daily video that I do here at The Rebel, but it's also the very reason The Rebel exists, to serve as a counterbalance from the liberal bias of the mainstream media and to help reveal the truth when the CBC obstructs it on behalf of the Liberal government. But the best way to support our independent journalism is to treat yourself to a Rebel subscription today.